Hi everybody, Cheryl and Lady coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home. Have you thought about growing vegetables through the winter? Well, if you're in zone 6 and above, I'm going to show you just how simple and easy and cheap it is. So I hope you join us. First of all, happy first day of autumn. Today is September 22nd and it is a beautiful day here in the neighborhood. If you don't know me, I garden in zone 7B. It used to be 7A. Didn't really change what I need to plant for my perennials to make it through the winter because there's really not that much temperature difference between zone A and zone 7B. But anyway, long about this time of year, a lot of people are just getting ready to put their gardens to bed. They've had it. They're waiting for their last fruits to come in before the frost comes. I mean, we've got another month or so. But what I like to do is I like to garden year-round, and I found that that's not that difficult if you take some precautions and protect your plants. So normally what I do this time of year for my fall crops is I put a what this is called agra-fabric on top of it, and it keeps those white cabbage moths away. This has been great when I just first planted. These are my autumn brassicas, but as you can see, even without lifting up the fabric, the plants are starting to reach the top. And it's called a floating row cover because it is so lightweight and it kind of floats above the plants, but they end up getting a little bit squished. As you can see, it's very, very lightweight, but it's very fine, so it doesn't allow the bugs to come in. And I do end up reusing it over and over again, which is great, although eventually they start getting holes in them and rips and breaking down and getting dirty. So this year I decided to invest in some of these hoops, and I never want to spend a lot of money in the garden. Lord knows we all do when it's our passion and our hobby, but this was actually a very affordable setup. And these hoops not only give them some protection from the bugs and animals as well, but it's got a little heavier fabric. And because the hoops are so tall, it's really going to give these plants room to grow. So this is the kit that I bought. And I will post a link below in the description if you want to purchase through it after you've watched this video and seen if it's right for you or not. But it's a greenhouse hoop kit, and it comes with 60 long rods, connectors in these metal tubes, and clips. And I will tell you, and this is why I did one yesterday before I filmed this video, because I wanted to see if it was, you know, going to work or not. But these are the clips that come in the kit. These are terrible. First of all, the plastic clips look very, very flimsy to me. And also, they don't open wide enough to actually go over the rod. So that made no sense. But I will show you how simple this is to put together. So this is a rod, and it doesn't look like it's that flexible to be able to make a hoop, but it does. And the 60 rods and these things are enough to make 7 hoops. So I bought 2 kits, and I actually only ended up using 4 hoops on the 10 grow bags. Those are 10 grow bags, 5 on each side, so there's 2 rows. And I'll show you how this works. Look at how easy this is. Now this is my kind of assembly. No tools involved, no glue, No little wrenchy things. And you just connect them like this. Until you have 5 across. Et voila. You probably don't want to pretend like it's a magic wand because then these just fall off. And actually, when you're going to move them to where you're going to place them, make sure that you hold them from either end like that. And you see? So this way they don't fall apart when you go to stick them in the ground. You get that, squirrel. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put together 3 more of these squirrels. Squirrels are running around like crazy. Are they driving you nuts? Squirrelius, go away-us. You helping mommy? That's a good girl. Want to drink water? This really beats having to make something myself. I like these kind of kits that are just kind of pre-made solutions. I mean, some people use pool noodles with rebar. That might be more sturdy, but I think if these are anchored to the ground pretty well, I'm not going to need to worry about something blowing over in a storm. Okay, so I'm going to take the cover off. That's here right now. Like I said, this is the one that I just kind of temporarily put on when the seedlings were pretty tiny. Uh-oh. We have our first fatality. That seedling didn't make it. All right, I got something else I'm going to pop in. And let me see if I can fold this up kind of neatly, because I will reuse this. These are just garden pins. They're kind of like thick staples. Maybe they're called garden staples. I'm not really sure. Bok choy is starting to look really nice. Wow, these have only been in 11 days. And there's a lot of growth. Okay, so now I'm going to bring over the rods. Okay, so we're going to bend it so it's like a hoop. And then make sure that you hold the end rods and get it in pretty firmly. There we go. I'm trying to line it up straight. Now, I actually don't want it to butt up right up against the grow bag. Okay, so now I'm going to go get the cloth. So this plant cover is 10 by 30. Of course, I cut some of it when I made the one yesterday. So it's a pretty long piece of fabric, and it was $17. So I'm sure that I could have just, you know, bought something cheaper, but I was concerned that not all of the brands would fit over the hoops, and this is the same brand. It kind of came as a kit. And anyway, it's nice and long. And I'm going to cut it and then I'm going to unfold it. A scrap piece like this could go over a plant pretty easily in a pot or even just in the ground. So the clamps that I showed you that didn't work, I'm glad that I didn't know that they came with the kit because I had ordered these clamps anyway. They're a little bit more sturdy. I think they're stainless. So this is basically what I'm doing. Got a clamp on each one of the metal connectors. And then I clamp it pretty close to the bottom. I'm hoping that that deters any squirrels or groundhogs from trying to get inside, but then I'm going to pin it too. There we go. Room to grow and nice and protected from the frosts and freezes, animals in the garden, and nasty bugs. Okay, so as you can see, it was pretty simple. All in on this material, I think it was just over 40 bucks. So that wasn't too bad. And I have enough actually left over for 4 more hoops, and I have the fabric and I have the clamps. So I'll be able to do that in maybe one of my raised beds. I do have plastic row cover, but what I have found is that they work much better in ground than it does over a grow bag. And the reason being is because in ground, when it rains and when it snows, the ground becomes wet and the roots of the plant are able to find that water. Whereas in the grow bags, they're really dependent on rain or watering. So these you can water right through, which is awesome. And also I have little cloches that I got at the dollar store last year. I have about a dozen of them or so. They were so cheap. And I'll be covering some of my plants with those as well. So with a little bit of protection, cheaply, you don't have to spend a fortune for it. You can grow your food throughout the winter months. Now, these are my fall crops, and I'm hoping that they'll be ready by like November or something to eat. But if they're not, I will just grow them through the winter, and then they'll come back in the spring. They'll go dormant for a little while, and then they'll come back pretty early in the spring, actually. If you live in a colder climate than, say, 6, you know, like you're in the 4s or 5s, you may need to grow food through the winter in something like a mini greenhouse, a big greenhouse, or even a cheaper version of that would be what's called a cold frame. But luckily for the area that I'm in, I'm able to overwinter many of my plants, even some of them without covering. A lot of my celery came back in the spring last year that were tiny babies in the fall, and they didn't have any cover on them at all. Carrots too, some spinach. So you don't always have to cover them, but it's a good idea to give them some kind of protection anyway. Ooh, go away, bee. Oh, come on. There's a yellow jacket stalking me. I had to get away from my yellow jacket stalker. Anyway, like I said, I will put the links to those products that I went over in my description below. And if you click on that link to purchase, a little bit of that goes to me to help me pay for some of Lady and Fluffer's medical bills, which would be very helpful. But it doesn't cost anything more for you. So I just wanted to give that little disclaimer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, and I hope you subscribe and join our growing community. And from the Ladies Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey. Bye! Say goodbye, lady.